بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد وعجل فرجهم. Respected mu'mineen, mu'minat, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. When to start the a'mal of Laylatul Qadr? Some may think that we need to wait for sunset, or some may start it after iftar, for example, and we have another group of people which delay it to the midnight. Now, an intelligent mu'min would understand the grandeur, the significance of Laylatul Qadr al-Mubarakah. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala would say, خَيْرٌ مِّنْ أَلْفِ شَهْرٍ. It's in fact better and worth a lifetime, if you will. In fact, better than 83 years. So everything we do is multiplied by 30,000 times. So once you understand this idea, then you would start preparing even prior to sunset. You at least mentally starting to prepare yourself. You would preoccupy your thoughts and hearts with the remembrance of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So the first tip I have for you is try to say La ilaha illallah. Even if you have an hour, just before sunset, grab the prayer bead and go 100 times La ilaha illallah. La ilaha illallah al-hayyul qayyum. A lot of things seemingly died, a lot of values that we need them to be revived, and that dhikr should take care of it. La ilaha illallah al-hayyul qayyum. La ilaha illallah wa huwa ala kulli shay'in qadir. Another beautiful dhikr. Those are very important. And number two is to, if you have few hours prior to the sunset, prior to the start, if you will, of Laylatul Qadr, try to start reciting Suratul Qadr. One of the tasks, one of the a'mal is to recite it 1,000 times, and you cannot go about doing that only if you start it before the actual night, before the sunset. And remember, while reciting Suratul Qadr, you need to remember that the exegesis, the inner meaning of Suratul Qadr is Mawlatuna Fatimatul Zahra alayha salatu wassalam. Try to read a visitation, even if that short visitation, and remember a Sayyidah. Try to connect with Sayyidah Fatima alayha salatu wassalam. Now, number three is that we need to attract Allah's aid. We need His support. How do we get and attract and gravitate, if you will, bring that our way? Bring the support of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala our way. There's a beautiful hadith that says, كَانَ اللَّهُ بِعَوْنِ الْعَبْدِ إِذَا كَانَ الْعَبْدُ بِعَوْنِ أَخِيهِ. How to start Laylatul Qadr? Start it by helping others. Help your parents, right? Your friends, your neighbors, your wife, your husband. Help someone. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, when you do that, I will be at your aid. I will be at your support. Now, number three is how to enter, how to usher Laylatul Qadr. Like the moment where the night starts, right? On the sa'atul ghurub, right? The moment we hear the adhan, what to do? It's very important that, I'll leave you with two things, if you will. Number one is to do ihsan. Do something good. Why? Because once we do something good, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will be on our side. And how beautiful is it to go about Laylatul Qadr with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala being at your side. You see, ayat goes, إِنَّ اللَّهَ يُحِبُّ الْمُحْسِنِينَ. Allah loves those who do good. And another ayah, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, إِنَّ اللَّهَ مَعَ الَّذِينَ اتَّقَوْا وَالَّذِينَ هُمْ مُحْسِنُونَ. Right? Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is with those who are pious and those who do good. So do good. Right? How do you do good? Do sadaqah, for example. Do sadaqah. Now, not to mention that it's extremely recommended. Sadaqah. The Prophet ﷺ would remind his companions, أَأَخْرَجْتُمْ الصَّدَقَةَ صَدَقَةَ الْعَشْرَ الْأَوَاخِرِ, he calls it. The last 10 days of Shahr Ramadan al-Mubarak, there is a recommended sadaqah, a special sadaqah that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will amplify its rewards. So that's very important. And he also goes and he says that التي يقبضها الله بيده. This sadaqah, Allah will receive it in His own hands. So it's very important, right? Doing sadaqah, forgiving others, people who wronged you. You have people who had hatred towards you, maybe go and clean things with them and come to terms and reconcile issues. Those are important things. This is ihsan. Once you do ihsan, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is on your side. And the other tip of how to usher, how to start, once you hear the adhan, pause for a second and prostrate to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Try to do that. Do sujood. Show Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that you're weak. Show Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that you are in need of Him. Once Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala knows that you are and sees that you are exhibiting this weakness towards Him, Allah will lift you. Allah will aid you. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will support you. And that's very important. And the state of sujood is the best state where we're close to Allah. We can't come closer to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala than the state of sujood. And I'll leave you with this frame. If you find yourself having a second or two, perhaps while doing suhoor, for example, or you're stretching, or you're walking, taking a break or whatnot, standing, sitting, sleeping, resting, always say Allahu Akbar. And that is very important. Allahu Akbar. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, Man kabbar Allah, saghar Allah, bi'aynihi ma siwa. Everything else becomes small once we know that Allah is greater. And Allah is greater. This word Allahu Akbar is not translated into Allah is the great or great. It means literally Allah is greater. Allah is greater than all your worries and hardships and issues and illnesses, for example, and debts that you have. Allah is greater. So once you keep putting this in your head and occupying your thoughts that Allah is greater, then everything else will become smaller. And that's very important. And if you will, this layla, this night, and all the supplications revolve under this concept. Praising Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, right? And telling you that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, putting in you and cultivating in you, internalizing, if you will, your thoughts with this idea that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is great. What's du'a al-jawshan? Du'a al-jawshan, praising Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala with 1,000 way, if you will, with 1,000 characteristics of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So always, Allahu Akbar. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala accept your a'mal. Wa sallallahu ala sayyidina wa nabiyyina Muhammadin wa alihi at-tayyibin at-tahirin.